Hello, it's Debbie Osborne here with more thoughts from my blog, RaisingOtherPeoplesChildren.blog. With this being May and National Foster Care Month, we're hearing a lot of the benefits of being a foster parent and a lot of encouragement for people to sign up to be foster parents. I often get the question, if I'm interested in being a foster parent, where do I start? The short answer is take it one step at a time. I always encourage people to start with baby steps. Just like swimming, being a foster parent and parenting other people's children is a skill that you learn. And just like swimming, it's best to start in the shallow end before you jump into the deep water. So, as a first step, for example, volunteer with some youth-serving organizations. Work with them to learn how they do it, learn what skills you need, and it can also help you figure out things such as which age group you work better with. I have a lot of experience working with teenagers, and they make sense to me. Babies are a complete mystery. So I knew going into my foster care journey that I was not a good match for babies right out of the hospital or toddlers. I need kids, as I used to joke, who can argue with me. And I learned that through working in youth-serving organizations. The next step would be to become a mentor with with children, whether foster children or kids that are at risk of having problems. Again, there are a lot of good mentoring groups out there, and the good ones will vet you. They will look through your background. They will have a lot of rules and recommendations to protect the organization and to protect you, and to have boundaries to make sure that the relationship you set up is a healthy one. So use that expertise. Start working with these groups and learn what they have to tell you. The next step is, if you can, shadow a foster family. Some state agencies have a system whereby you can officially work with families and shadow them and become part of their network. Sometimes you may have to do it informally just by finding foster families in your community or your church or other organization. You may have to have some level of licensing in order to be able to interact regularly with the foster kids, or you may be able to just be part of their informal network. Either way, if you're working with an experienced foster family, you can watch them face the challenges and learn how they do it, and you get a front row seat to what it is that you would be called upon to do. And that sort of experience is absolutely invaluable. The last step that I always recommend you look at before you jump into a long-term or full-time foster placement is what's known as emergency care or respite care. Respite care allows families to send a child to your house for a weekend, or, for example, if they have to take an older child on a college orientation trip or to visit colleges, they need somewhere to leave for their foster child to stay with a safe, licensed, vetted family so that they can go on with their lives while the foster family is out of town. The other option is emergency care, which is you just keep a kid for a defined period, usually up to 2 weeks, while the caseworker looks for a permanent placement for them. Both of those are really wonderful ways for you to have limited responsibility. You go through the entire licensing process, you are vetted, you are able to be licensed as a respite care or as an emergency care parent, but it is limited responsibility so that, again, you're sort of wading in chest deep and not yet in the deep water. So all of those are ways that you can learn what you're doing before you have to take on full-time responsibility for a child. It's a great way for you to learn the skills, to get the experience, and to know what you're getting into, because believe me, there is no training that can prepare you for the real life of raising someone else's child. It's challenging, it's rewarding, and I highly encourage you to look into any of those ways of figuring out whether actually becoming a foster parent is the challenge that you are ready to take on. If you have any more questions about being a foster parent, check with your agency, look for state foster parent organizations, or check out my blog at raisingotherpeopleschildren.blog, and also there's a link from debbieosborne.com.